Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Oh, you're Aunt Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. Grab a seat, prop your feet. Let's sip some tea, sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. Sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Come on in now. Auntie Mickey's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You're in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah, yeah. Come on in and hit that light. Don't forget now. Auntie Mickey's house. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Grown talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. Oh, yeah. From the jokes to the prayers, she keeps it real. Keeps it real. Auntie Mickey's house, that's the deal. That's the deal, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Oh yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Known in the house. You know you're in the house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit the light, hit the light, hit the light. You're at Auntie Mickey's, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's, Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie Mickey's house. It's Auntie Mickey's house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. You're in her house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat, grab a seat. Come on in and hit that light, hit that light. Oh, you're at Auntie Mickey's. Yeah, 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 yeah. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Auntie's house. Grab a seat, drop your feet. Let's sip some tea, sip that tea. Entertainment, news, and spirituality. From the culture to the fun, Auntie sets the tone. With a laugh and a truth, she holds the throne. She holds the throne, yeah. Auntie's house. Oh, Auntie's house. You know you're in her house. Come on in and grab a seat, yeah. Come on in and hit that light. Don't forget. She can roast with a smile, drop wisdom too. Break down the headlines, bring it straight to you. Straight to you, baby. Community strong, conversation grown. Grown talk, baby. Auntie Mickey's house. Make yourself at home, yeah. Come together, every voice is heard. Every voice. Respect the vibe, let's share the word. Oh yeah. From the jokes to the prayers, she keeps it real. Keeps it real. That's the deal. That's the deal, baby. Yeah, yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. Auntie's house. Oh yeah. Auntie Mickey's house. You know you're in a house. Come on in and grab a seat. Grab a seat. Come on.
Woo! Okay. Happy Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. How y'all doing? Oh my goodness. Happy Tuesday. So good to see everybody in the house. Hello, Mr. Phillips. I see you, Camille. Hi, Doodle Bird. Hi, Satin Dog. Some of you may see that you are now in blue. I hope you enjoy the color because we needed some more mobs up in here. Hey, Urban. How you doing, sweetheart? Discerning 8. Hello, sugar. How are you? So good to see you. Good to see you. And there, of course, there's my baby up there at the top. How you doing, sugar? Well. I hope you guys saw that thumbnail. Because apparently we've got another arrest, but they're arresting for the other side. They're protecting the other side. We know who the other side is. The people who generally throw the rock and hide their hand and then claim to be victims. As far as I'm going to go with that one. Man, oh man, this is getting exhausting, but we got to continue to keep this out there because that's what they want. They want us to get tired and go away. That's exactly what they want. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Let me make sure y'all can hear me because yesterday, boy, I tell you, I was struggle streaming and I must have went about 10 minutes and wasn't even in the studio. Nobody could hear me. That was embarrassing. So help our sister out. Oh, in the meantime, and in between time, I found something out today that I had no idea existed. Apparently, back in 2022, a bill was signed federally, and it was called the Anti-Lynching Bill. Okay? I had no idea such a bill existed this late in the game. Okay, good. I see a lot of 1s in the chat, so that means y'all can hear me. Okay? Now, it's going to be hard for me to follow the chat and talk at the same time. Your laptop is acting up, Mr. Phillips? I apologize. I'm sorry. Mine is too, if that's of any consolation. This thing be tripping. But yeah, I found out that there is legislation out there that was just passed federally in 2022. This is just 4 years ago. I had no idea that would be that late in the game to sign anti-lynching. Shouldn't that have been done a long time ago? But nevertheless, Mississippi still has not yet signed that anti-lynching bill. Go figure. Go figure. What y'all waiting on? And then you wonder why everybody's looking at y'all sideways. You can't even pass anti-lynching? Something wrong with that picture. That's crazy. Miss Phillips says, yes, I can't get YouTube on it. You can't get YouTube on your laptop? Can you get it on your phone? Hi, Maureen. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm having a hard time trusting politics. Well, I've always mistrusted politicians. I ain't gonna lie. But I definitely don't trust anybody in an official capacity in Mississippi. Oh, okay, good, Mr. Phillips. Be on that phone. At least the phone ain't tripping. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that this piece of legislation is still sitting there waiting for signatures in Mississippi. And here we are with this situation. And I told y'all a while ago, drowning seems to be the new lynching in this country. And it's getting more and more prevalent the next shoot. Every time you turn around. Every time you turn around, somebody drowning while with white people. That's something that, you know what, that should be a law. Or something, drowning while with white people. That could be something that they put on the books. I don't know. I'm just talking. But luckily, this second autopsy, Ben Crump's autopsy and toxicology reports, those are expected to be available sometime this week. Hopefully within the next couple of days. I hope so. Because that toxicology report is going to come in real handy with regard to what they're trying to put on that boy. Young man, I'm sorry. I don't want to call him a boy. He's 18 years old. He's a young man. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to say that he was heavily drinking and said that he was dabbling in a powdered substance. Let me put it like that. Matter of fact, who put that lie out there? That, you know who we talking about. That coon. That raccoon. Right. Mississippi is not required to get the autopsy to the public, even though it's a public document. But okay, that's why we got our own, right? And they made sure that they kept certain parts that would tell us if he had drowned, or told us if he had not drowned. But isn't that ironic? They withheld certain things that could tell more than what they want us to know. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Ironically, the throat area. Hello, no ego. Let me see. Good evening. What's the worst case scenario for that toxicology test when it comes out, in your opinion? I don't think there is really a worst case scenario other than it'll give us the truth. But if they're trying to smear this young man's reputation, it will certainly, it wouldn't benefit the other side. Because that toxicology report would show that they're smearing his name and reputation. This young man had a lot on the line. And, the more I think about this case, follow me, okay? Follow me on this one. This is the 4th of July, which is on what? A Saturday. Saturday, the 4th of July. And this is his last little party time before he gets busy with school. Monday, his tryouts for the D1 college situation. And we all know that they test you. They take they have to take testing when they do their tryouts. They don't just run out there on the field and kick balls and throw balls and they're done. They go through some rigorous standards in terms of if they're going to get on that team or not. And this young man was not playing games when it came down to jeopardizing his future. He took his future seriously. So here we are, Saturday. They're out there on that island, and everybody's having a ball. Him and his 3 white friends, who, from what I can gather, and maybe this is just my own assumption, their sights were not to the point of his. In other words, they weren't looking to their future in the same context as Nolan. Does that make any sense? See, when you got money like that, when you come from affluent families like that, and you're raised with a silver spoon in your mouth, sometimes they have that tendency not only to have that entitlement syndrome, but they go through life with it. In other words, they don't have to work hard for shit, because mama and daddy's money will get them through. And again, this is just my opinion. Now, not to say that Nolan's family is broke. No, they ain't broke. His mama got a good job. I'm not sure what the father does. Thank you for saying that, Maureen. I was trying to be, give them the benefit of the doubt. But this young man had ambitions, and he had the talent to back it up and make those ambitions come true. And there's something about jealousy. It's a awful, it's a nasty, nasty thing. Jealousy will cause certain people to do foul things to keep others from achieving what they're unable to achieve, if you follow what I'm saying. Let's see. No Ego says, in my opinion, a worst case scenario would be if he had more than one illegal D in his system outside of alcohol, because now they can claim he was high off something and the rugs unalived him. Well, I really doubt that would be the case, because of what he had at stake. And bottom line is this. I'll put it like this. If those things were in his system, I'd beg to differ that he put them there. Why give up all your dreams for one day on a sandy island for the 4th of July weekend? He's worked and worked and worked toward this time, this day, which a day and a half away. I find it hard to believe that he would throw all that away. Satin says, wasn't it reported that he would be starting his training on the following Monday? So all I can see was a healthy start. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's Saturday. They're having a good time out there on that island. They're having a good time out there on that island. And the fact that heavy drinking was put on the paperwork, first of all, where did they get their information from? It had to have been told to them, because he had not yet been tested. So someone told them that information, and they put that there on that paperwork. No toxicology report had been done yet. No autopsy had been done yet. The findings have not been revealed yet to anybody. Now the state, they have theirs, but they're holding it tight to their breast. They're holding it tight, but it's not public. Now, Nolan's family, because they didn't trust the state, is exactly why they had their own done. You blame them? Look what we're looking at right now. Look at the behavior that we're looking at right now. And the state of Mississippi did not bank on this happening, because this is what they do to pretty much all black bodies that are unalived through strange circumstances. Exactly, Maureen. They took hearsay as fact. Now, if that young man's toxicology report comes back and says that he didn't have any you-know-what's in his system, they're going to have to change that. They may even have to, if he has some kind of alcohol in his system, they can measure how much alcohol was in his system. The paperwork said he had heavy alcohol. Heavy. In other words, he'd have to be sloppy, falling down drunk. And there's nothing, no documentation, no video, anything, pictures, anything that shows that he was drunk to that capacity, let alone drunk at all, for all we know. But we don't have the toxicology report. We don't have the autopsy report that would solidify that information. But somebody done put it out there on paper, on a legal document, on a report. Alcohol intake heavy. But you know what? God don't like ugly, and he ain't too fond of pretty. And something tells me that somebody's going to have to eat their words. But again, I still feel apprehensive about the state of Mississippi. I don't trust nobody, from the police chief all the way up to the governor. I really don't. If you're willing to be that confident in your capacity as chief of police and governor to come out not even an hour after his body has been discovered and say that, there was no foul play, it appeared to be an accidental drowning. If you got that doggone, oh my God, you that confident in yourself as a public official to come out like that, I don't underestimate your capacity at doing anything else bad. You know what I'm saying? Alice said God don't like this. No, he don't. No, he don't. What'd he say? Touch not my anointed. Do my people no harm? Black people done gone through bigger storms than this and have prevailed over the years, over the centuries. And they still scratching their head trying to figure out, how do they still hang in there? Now that's a good question, Camille. I wonder if the mayor has had anything to say, because I haven't heard anything from him. Have y'all? Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard the mayor come out and publicly say anything about this case. See, my take on politics and politicians is I don't trust nan one of them. Not nan one of them. Because you got to get your hands dirty to get into politics and succeed. The clean ones don't last. Clean ones don't last. They end up leaving because they don't have that kind of evil in them. A lot of people, I think, really go into politics because they want to do something good for people. They want to do something that's going to leave a positive effect on their people. But look where we are. We're on Earth. And I don't want to get deep into the Bible and none of that. But let's just say that this is the devil's playground. This is the devil's playground. And we in the middle of it. So it doesn't surprise me that evil prevails quite often down here on this earth that he was cast down to. You know what I'm saying? But again, God is still sitting on the throne. And sometimes he allows things to happen just so we can see just who he is. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not up here on a soapbox to preach to nobody. But I've always been raised, I've always been taught to know that God is in control. He has the last say. That doesn't mean that we can't be upset. It doesn't mean that we can't sit back and recognize when wrong is wrong. And this is wrong. What happened to that young man, I'm hoping and praying that someone one of those boys didn't do that to him. I'm hoping and praying, because we don't know. We really don't know. It could be somebody else if something was even done to him like that. We have to wait. But again, I don't even trust that. I don't even trust that. They rig elections. We got a whole president in the House that seems to think that he can have another term. Even though the Constitution says otherwise, he still thinks that he can have another term in office. This is the same person that kicked off January 6th. So we living in some evil times. And we watching some evil stuff go down. But God still prevails in the end. It may not be in our time. It may not, what they say, he may not come when you want him. He may not come when you want him. But he's on time. And all we can do right now is we have to sit back and see how this is going to play out and govern ourselves accordingly. It may be that something happened to him and had nothing to do with those boys. It may be that something happened to him that had nothing to do with anybody. We don't know. But I can truthfully say that people are going to look at you sideways when you behave sideways. And those young men behaved sideways. They behaved suspiciously. Out the gate. And I've seen so many different videos. I've seen Tisa Tells. I've seen Willie Live. I've seen Don Lemon. I've seen so many different videos. Hey, Don. I've seen so many different videos, and they all pretty much say the same thing and cover all these different scenarios and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, those young men that he went to that island with behaved very, 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 very suspiciously. I even saw a video from Tisa Tells, who said that something, don't know what, but something suddenly happened on that island and caused those boys to freak out so bad that they did a minor, what do they call it, a mistake. It was one of those mistakes that, brand new people do. I can't even think straight right now because I'm so mad. That caused harm to the boat. Something apparently spooked them. Now this is, again, hearsay from her. All I can do is sit back and look at what I see. And what I saw was 3 young white boys come back from that island, and hours passed before it was even mentioned to his mama that he was missing. If you didn't know that he was missing, why did you call his mama and say he was missing? See, too many things are conflicting with each other. And they say when you tell a lie, you got to remember that lie. When you tell the truth, you don't have to wonder what the truth is, because you know what the truth is. But when you tell a lie, you got to keep remembering, okay, now what did I say? What did I say? So again, we just have to sit back and be patient. But I tell you what, Mississippi is blowing the head gasket off of what has been going on in this country for quite some time. And now it's happening right there in Mississippi, in the heart of the heart of it all. That Deep South has been notorious for this. And they say Mississippi is the worst of all. Nothing surprises me anymore. It really doesn't. But, like I said, they've got this third arrest. Because, the families, plural. Warren's father went out and started It's not a GoFundMe, but it's a, shoot, what is that thing called? It's a new way that they raise money for people that are in need of money. Now, this is the part that kills me. These people are affluent people. These are affluent, rich people. They ain't broke. And they open something similar to a GoFundMe account to handle any lawsuits that they want to go after people for defamation and whatnot. Content creators. They want to come after content creators. And I just thought that was rich, because you've got money to pay for attorneys, but you want the public to pay for your attorneys. Isn't that rich? Hold on just a second. I forgot something. Hold on. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. I dropped one of my notes. Yes, a Give, Send, Go. That's what it's called. Give, Send, Go. It was started by Benjamin Hudson, which is Warren's father. The first guy that was interviewed by... I can't even say that man's name. He gets on my last nerves. You know who I'm talking about. Step and Fetch It. That's going to be my new name for him. I'm not even going to call him Black Coon no more. I'm just going to call him Step and Fetch It. Step and Fetch It interviewed a couple of those young men. The first one was Warren. And there's something about that dude that doesn't sit well with me either. Uncle Ruckus, that's another one. Mr. Phillips, that's another one that's good. But when I found out about this Give, Send, Go, and the goal was set at $100,000, I was appalled. I was like, are you kidding me? And it's almost, I think it's past 100,000 at this point. It might be just almost $100,000 that they've raised so far. Which, what does that tell you about this country? You got a lot of people out there that's supporting this white supremacist attitude. Okay, Barbara, I'll look at it when I'm done, honey. So they're basically raising that money to sue people, to go after content creators. And it's appalling to me, because these people already have money. So they want people to give them money or contribute money that they themselves already have, by the way. And then the recipients then sue and maybe even win on a couple of people, a couple of lawsuits. But see, this Give, Send, Go is a little bit more lenient with their terms and conditions as opposed to GoFundMe. So in essence, if they don't spend all $100,000, they pretty much, the boys can split it up and go buy a car with it if they choose to. But now, those legal fees, they may end up having to use that money for legal fees to defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, that toxicology report ain't out yet. That autopsy ain't out yet. And as far as I'm concerned, enough has already been established without the toxicology and without the autopsy. Enough has been established that somebody should have gone to jail for at least 72 hours. If you've got this young man's phone, that's tampering with evidence. Tampering with evidence. Not to mention it has been wiped clean. Absolutely, Maureen. What does it say about the people donating? So, this mindset of land of the free, home of the brave. First of all, let's be real about the Constitution. The Constitution was never written for us, because at the time, black people were considered property. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you so much. Black people used to be considered property. And you know, it kills me every time we get on the subject of slavery and Democrats and Republicans and all this stuff, which I could care less about. Democrat, Republican, Independent, they all foul to me. They're all foul to me. But when I get these people that jump in here telling me, oh, well, you know, the Democrats were the ones that owned the slaves and it was the Republicans that set them free. We're not going to play that little mind trick, that little Jedi mind trick, okay? Because it was that very time that both parties switched names. The beliefs switched. I mean, the beliefs didn't switch with the names switched on their own. So Republicans took on the name of Democrat and vice versa, or should I say it was the other way around. But nevertheless, at one point in time, Democrats were Republicans and Republicans were Democrats. And I could give a shit about who did what. They all corrupt to me right now. Back then, I don't know shit about during that time. I wasn't here. But I know what I know right now because I'm here. It infuriates me. It really infuriates me that they can raise this money and pretty much have themselves a nice little pocket change, so to speak. But see, they got to defend themselves too. If they sue somebody, someone can come back and countersue. I don't know if they want that smoke. I don't know if they want that. But anyway, let me get off of that subject. Let me go to the third arrest. We've got a third arrest out here. Remember, they said that they were going to start having people arrested for, attacking, people, victims. Hold on, Barbara. Barbara said, did you hear the district attorney is running for governor, so she has to do what those people want her to do, and that is to cover it completely up? I don't know that to be true, sweetheart. I don't know. I'm not going to speak on it because I don't know. But now this I do know. Discerning Ace says, my family who live in Mississippi said the KKK is very active there. Yes, they have several factions of it, several groups. And that comes from people that live down there. I mean, people that I know that live down there have told me that they're down there. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't surprise me one bit. Who is that? Hey, Lennis. How you doing, sugar? That's my friend, Lennis. The essence of success. How you doing, sugar? So yeah, getting back to the arrests. It's ironic that the arrests that have taken place have been people that have verbally threatened the boys or someone on the boys' team. But we got a whole mother and father on the other side of that table, so to speak. Hey, Lady Letitia, how you doing, sugar? We got a whole mother and father. And and 5 brothers on the other side of that table that are also victims, and they're also being dragged through the mud, and they're also receiving threats, but ain't nobody said boo. Ain't nobody said boo and got anybody out there to arrest anybody. Maureen said, it's clear there's a large percentage of people who still see black people as property, and in some cases even less valuable than property. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so Robert Blake, tell me, you said the mom is making racist comments and dividing people. Tell me where she's saying those things at. Direct it to me. What link is that? Or is this your opinion? I'm curious. No shade. I just want to know if this is a fact, or is this your opinion? Because if it's a fact, I'm sure you would be able to prove that. She said, wait a minute. She said she tells her other kids. Where did she say this at? What podcast? Where did she say this at? See, whatever I say, you can actually say, Auntie Mickey said it on her channel on such and such and such a date at 6:30 or whatever time it is. Okay, hold on. Robert Blake says, if they don't look like you, then be careful of them. That's not racist. How is that racist? She didn't say, if they don't look like you, hate them. She said, be careful of them. That is not being racist. That is teaching your child the obvious. Hi, Lady Letitia.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
I sure can, yeah.
Okay, no echo?
No echo. Mm-mm.
Okay. Hello.
Hello,
Hi, Chad.
Robert, she meant be careful around white people. She has every right to tell her children that. Have you seen what's been happening lately? Black people are dying if they're the only one in the group of more than 2 or 3 white people, and the black person comes back. That's reason to be cautious. That is not racist. That's smart. That's not racist. That's smart. Now, let me just put it like this. If you're a white person, let me give it to you in this context, sweetheart. And I'm not bashing you or anything like that, because you might take it to be racist, but let me give you some insight, okay? And you have the right to disagree, but let me give you this concept. If you're white and you go to a party with 3 or 4 brothers, chances are you're going to be safer with those 4 brothers than if it were the other way around. Because we're not hearing in the news 1 white boy and 4 black dudes go somewhere and the white boy don't come home. We're not hearing about that in the news.
Yeah, we're not leaving nobody behind.
And this is something that has been happening quite a bit lately. So it's natural to warn your children to be careful. It's not saying hate them. It says be careful. It's just like getting a job, okay? You get a job. Let me turn my camera on. I keep forgetting to turn my camera on because maybe you need to see me when I say this. It's just like if you get a job, okay? You get a job, and the first week that you start, someone tells you, be careful how you conduct yourself around here. Is that racist to say that? Yeah, white people are killed by white people as well. This ain't about black people killing black people and white killing white people. It's not about that. This is about this specific type of situation. Okay? The bottom line is this. There has been a tendency lately where the only black dude or black woman in the group of white people end up dead. Dead.
Let me give you, and I don't know if this scenario is a good one or not, but I got married to my husband, and of course he's white. And his side of the family, of course, is white. And so we all went out. I think we went out, and then I went back to the room because I had enough. Was there. And some of his family members went out with my family. And my sister said that one of them wanted to stay behind at the club. And she said, hell no. We came together. We leave together.
You leave together.
I don't know. You know, she said, I don't know. We don't know these people. You don't know these people. And we are all leaving together.
Absolutely.
Even if you wanted to stay, or we'll stay with you until you get ready to go. But that's just...
That's being safe. It's just like, okay, let's put it into this context. Let's just say that a guy, no race involved. Let's just take the race out of it. Same concept. We have 5 people on a Friday night after work. Okay? I don't disagree or agree with statistics, FBI statistics. I agree with life experience, Robert. Okay? So, let me just say this. We've got a group of co-workers. And out of those co-workers, 4 of those co-workers are male. 4 of those workers are male and 1 is female. What is the likelihood of that female not coming back safe? Just follow me. Just work with me.
It's more likely that something would happen to her versus something would happen to the men.
Now here's the thing. Men are perceived to be more protective, and women are perceived to be needing protection. Okay?
Yes.
So chances are, if they all went out together, and it's just 1 female and 4 males, chances are that female is going to come back safe.
Okay.
And that's generally how it works when a group of black people have 1 white person in the crowd. That white person is safe amongst them black people.
Let me tell you something. My sister said, hell no. Yeah, they're safe. That's for real.
Now, let's flip the script on that, Robert. Let's say that there's a bunch of women. Well, let me see. How can I put this without... Maybe men and women aren't the thing because see, I don't want to throw misogyny in there. So maybe I'll just leave that alone.
Just flip it totally around. And I want to put race in there because what if it was they were all black men?
Right, but I wanted to take the race factor out because he's saying by warning the one person of the others being white. If there's one black person being warned about their white friends, that's racist to warn them about their white friends. And that's not racist. That's careful.
Oh, no.
Okay? That's what careful looks like. Okay?
It's just careful. When I go out the house, my husband, be careful, babe. Be careful. Be careful.
Right.
I'm going to see my mom. Be careful.
Right. But in the same token, when we put race into the issue, historically, black people When they have one white person in their group, they protect that white person. That's just how it is.
And that's what
We don't see that happen much on the other side.
That day. Yeah, we are not leaving you. Period.
And that's just
right.
That comes from life experience, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
That just comes from life experience. Okay? So it's not being racist. It's being, because you have to hate a color to be racist. You have to hate a demographic to be considered racist. By warning someone about their surroundings and the people that they travel with is not necessarily hate related.
No.
And mom has, especially now, mom is teaching her kids to not trust a group of people based solely on the color of their skin. And isn't that ironic? Maybe she should have done that before her son was killed, being with those white boys. Maybe, just maybe, if she had done that sooner, he'd be alive. How about that?
Yeah, because they trusted the wrong people.
I can defend that. Because I've been in that situation, Robert. If you haven't noticed, you see what color I am? You see what shade I am? You see that? Do you hear my voice? Contrary, aren't they? Contrary as hell, isn't it? If you saw my grandparents, you would say, huh? My bloodline don't look like this. Okay. We don't know that. How dare you? So irresponsible. How dare I what? Speak my truth? How dare you rebuke me for speaking my truth in my house?
What is he saying?
I know exactly that. Because I'm speaking my truth and the truth that I've been raised and experienced around me for the last 64 years. You can't tell me what to believe if you haven't walked in my shoes or the shoes of my family. I'm not saying he was killed. You're talking about semantics now. Two different things. Let's just say he was killed. Your argument is still saying that it's racist to warn your children to be careful of being around people that are not of the same color of them based on what history has been proven lately. Are you not gonna warn your kids not to walk down the street at 1:00 in the morning alone? And you don't need no investigation to know the answer to that. You don't let your children out the house, your young children out the house, to go to the corner store unattended. You tell them to be careful, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen to them, right?
You best
No, it's not a
believe-
different argument.
No, you cannot tell me
Until
that
you walk in their shoes, or in the shoes of a black person that has been in that particular situation, you have no grounds to say that that's racist.
Right.
None whatsoever.
Exactly.
But we can agree to disagree. You have a wonderful day, and you're free to stay here as long as you're respectful, sweetheart. I don't have a problem with you being here. But we will agree to disagree. I'm not going to even ask you what color you are, because at this point it doesn't matter to me. At this point, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to warn my black grandchildren to be mindful of the people that they hang around.
Period.
But if they happen to be white, I will especially warn them. based
because
on
of this situation right
what is
here.
going on
And
right
there
now.
is a lot of parents that are concerned, that are worried, that are being mindful, that are changing the rules because of this situation right here.
And can I add
Especially
one
because,
thing? Go ahead. Go ahead.
like, in the neighborhood that I live in, I know that these groups of, there's not a lot of minorities, but
Correct.
but and you see it a lot. You see black boys hanging around white boys all day long, 24/7. And this is just my point I want to make, is that you can't tell me parents are not freaking out,
Yeah.
because I would.
Well, you know what? And see, it's more to it than the color issue. And maybe I should have put this in the very beginning. And that's my problem. That's my bad.
Well,
Okay.
that this point is different from yours, but
But no,
I know
I'm
what you're
saying what
saying.
I'm about to say. Maybe I should have said this in the very beginning. A lot of it has to do with them, money as well. Being affluent. See, some families that have that old money, that passed on through generation to generation, have that old money, and they're accustomed to being in a certain tax bracket, if you know what I'm saying. Sometimes that has caused them to have certain privileges that people in a different demographic and economic standing have. So maybe I should have put that in there as well. Because again, if you think you can pay your way out of it, what you think gonna happen? I'm just saying. I've seen it happen. And the same situation applies to this situation, because these families are from one parent is a judge. Power right there. Power. Not to mention the money, but the power. The other parents, one's a doctor, working for the same hospital that the victim's mother works at. Then we've got another parent who's an attorney. They're financially stable, well off, and white.
And that's why
Those
we
are
have to be a
those are
voice
big
for no one.
pluses in today's society. But then you put a black person in there that may not have as much money or have as much affluence, but that young black kid may have athletic ability that compares to no one else in the group. They can't touch him. They can't touch him. And I'm not saying that's the case with him. I'm just saying, when it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, sometimes it quacks. Okay? I'm just saying, sometimes things that you see can be exactly what you see. But you're right. We have to wait for the autopsy and the toxicology screens to come out before we can even make a decision on anything more. But to put that woman down after she's lost her child. And this is not the first situation similar to hers where one in the group was a different color than the others, and that one didn't come back. There's another situation where a young young lady was at some kind of slumber party or something with a bunch of white women, and guess who ended up dead? You want to take a wild guess? Odin said, now you know what, Odin, I commend you for that. White people to say it, but they say it in private, not openly. And you know what? That's fine. Every family needs to do what they need to do to protect the safety of their children. Point blank, period. And if that's what you feel you have to do, then dadgummit, do it. It's
I
not
mean, I
racist.
am for my little one.
It's not racist to want to protect your children in certain circumstances beyond your control. And sometimes you may not be the racist one in the bunch, but you can't control the people that your kids are hanging around, or their families for that matter. That's why you have to be careful who you let your kids hang out with, because you just don't know.
Of course, yeah.
This ain't
Kara's
about
not
being
never spending a
racist. This
night
is about
over.
being careful.
She's never spending a night over no one's house.
I'm
They
telling
can
you.
come over here.
My grandparents wouldn't let me spend the night at nobody's house, and we black. And they would not allow me to spend the night at anybody's house, black or white.
I don't trust no one. I don't trust who could be in the house when my daughter's there or something. And then, no. They can come over here. There's plenty of stuff to do.
I've heard, and I've seen, I have a video, I can't even find it. It's in one of my live streams from a few weeks ago, where there was a black, I don't know if he was a grown, I don't know how old he was. He was old enough. He was definitely 18 or older. He was on one side of the river, and his two white buddies were on the other side of the river, and they were trying to coax him to get into the water. This is on video. They're trying to coax him into the water, and the river is rushing by, and the young man is like, no, I can't swim. I'll die. And they're laughing, and no, man, just jump in. You'll be fine. And he's like, no, I'll die. And all the while, there's a family on their paddle boat, a white couple with two little white kids. This ain't about racism. This is just what happened. I'm telling you what happened. It's on video. And they observed these white guys trying to coax this black dude to get in this rushing water, to cross the river to them. And they're laughing, and at times demeaning him. Oh, you little pussy. He's afraid. He's got on a life jacket. It just so happens that they gave him a children's life jacket, and he's a grown man. Point number one. Something that cannot sustain him in that type of water. Okay? This family pulled their paddle boat over toward him and had him to grab the back of the boat, and they guided him to safety on the other side. As they did that, the two friends on the other side were cursing at him. They got very, very angry. Oh, you effing pussy, you punk ass, you just blah, 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 blah. It was almost like they got very angry that that couple saved him. And all the while, they're talking to him, and he's talking to them, and he's just being, hanging on to the back of their boat or paddleboard or whatever that was, until they guided him to safety. And he was like, I'm never coming around you guys anymore. He had to learn the hard way. Thank God he walked away with his life.
Yeah.
That's what we mean by be careful. Be careful. Because you never know what your friends consider to be entertainment.
At your expense.
You see what I'm saying? And that ain't the only one. That's just one example. There's a couple more. One happened on the same day as Nolan. He was with his two buddies, or his white buddies, and they jumped in the water, and he didn't come up. And you know what they did? They took his clothes, threw them in the bushes, and disposed of his cell phone and went on about their business. Didn't even report it. It's not the only one. is happening more often than we know. There's one other one, I can't even remember his name. What happened? Hell, I can't remember. I mean, there's Trey Reed. He wasn't swimming, but he was going to school in Mississippi. And one morning they found his unalive body right there on the campus. And what did they do? They just brushed it off like, oh, it's no big deal. Hold on just a second. Odin said, do you remember the death about a week ago of a black guy went to a white foster home who went to a lake with two white guys and they pretended to be friends and they stabbed him and drowned? No, you gotta be kidding me. Where did that happen, Odin? I'll look that up. I want to read about that. Do you know what state and city that was in? Oh, Discerning 8, thank you for the 30 jewels, sweetheart. Thank you. See, this is a situation where, we try to tiptoe around trying not to hurt someone else's feelings, but at the end of the day, I'm going to instruct my grandchildren to do the right thing, whether you like it or not. Because if something happened to them, you ain't going to be there for them. So I'm not going to be concerned about offending you on something that is clearly not a racist issue by telling my kids to be careful around. Don't be the only one in the bunch. That's not racist. That's safe. In a crazy racist world, it doesn't make me racist to warn him of other racists. Yeah. Check out Jesus. Check out the definition of racism. Racism is embedded with hate against a certain demographic because of that demographic. Thank you, Odin. I appreciate it. So just to finish up with this third arrest. The third arrest that was done was they haven't revealed where this person lives. The person's name is Edward James Porter, 40 years old. This is the third arrest on a federal charge of transmitting threatening communications in interstate commerce for allegedly threatening a witness and the family of the witness. Mr. Porter's city or state of residence has not been released by federal authorities. And again, this is where I'm sorry, I got to call dumb on this person's part. Why are you doing shit that would end your ass up in jail? They done already told you. If you start threatening people, you're going to end up in jail. Okay, hold on. Let me write that down. Daryl Martinez Lowry. Thank you, sweetheart. Daryl Martinez Lowry. Okay, I'll check that out. Lord have mercy, that is sick. Just so they could have something to laugh about. Wow. Yes, Discerning 8, I have that information. I just don't have it in front of me. Jesus. Hold on just a second. Let me pull this up. Let me share my screen real quick. This is from people.com. It says, third arrest made in Nolan Wells case as man allegedly threatened to kill, or unalive, two witnesses. And again, I have to say on his, dumb, dude. You just dumb. You dumb. A third person has been arrested for allegedly threatening witnesses in the investigation of Nolan Wells' death. Wells was found dead 2 days after going to Horn Island, Mississippi on July 4th to celebrate with his friends. The case has drawn national attention and heightened racial tensions, as Wells was the only black person in his group. A third person has been arrested for allegedly threatening witness. Okay, it said all that. Wells disappeared on Horn Island in Mississippi after celebrating blah, 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 and was found dead on the northwest end of the island on July 6th. The case has fueled intense attention on Wells' friends and their actions surrounding his disappearance. That's the key with me right there. They acted, oh my God, they acted so suspect it was not funny at all. I mean, you couldn't ignore it if you tried. While his family has also faced online abuse. The case has fueled intense attention on Wells' friends and their actions surrounding his disappearance, while his family has also faced online abuse, meaning Nolan's family. No one has been charged in connection with Wells' disappearance or death. In the latest update, Edward James Porter, 40, was arrested on charges of transmitting threatening communications in interstate commerce, the Sun Herald, and WXXB 25 reported on Tuesday, August 4th, citing court records. According to court documents obtained by the Sun Herald, Porter allegedly told a witness he would, quote, come, KILL, them and their family, then sent the witness their home address to show that he knew where they lived. See, this person he needed to go to jail. He needed to go to jail. I don't have a problem with this at all, you big dummy. Porter is the third person arrested on similar charges connected to the case. On Thursday, July 30th, Joseph Alfredo Vasquez Dumarche, a 27-year-old Sacramento, California resident, was arrested on a charge of interstate transmission of threatening communication for allegedly threatening Judge Ashley Cole, the stepmother of Wells' friend Warren Hudson, who was on Horn Island with him. Michelle Francine Edwards of Cincinnati, Ohio, has also been arrested on the same charge for allegedly calling the George County Clerk's office several times in July and making bomb threats, including saying the clock is ticking, according to a criminal complaint previously cited by the Sun Herald. It wasn't immediately clear if any of them have entered pleas or retained attorneys to speak on their behalf. Wells' death has drawn national scrutiny and became a flashpoint in discussions about race, as Wells was the only black person in the group at the time of his disappearance. Let's back up for a second. Not only was he the only black person in the group of 4, him and maybe 4 more or 5 were the only blacks on the whole freaking island, amongst hundreds of other people. Wells' family grew concerned after learning that he had left his phone with friends and remained on the island while the rest of the group departed by boat. Hudson previously said the phone was later returned to them. This is where I have a problem with this, because some of these news reports are biased. First of all, it has not been established, however, wait a minute, let me back up. It has been said that he said, I'm going to hang behind here at this island. But there's information coming from another source that says no, he was supposed to be getting on the boat with the friends. He was found 2 days later in the very spot he was last seen at. What's the chances of that happening? I'm just saying.
It's like something placed him there.
it's like we really won't know what was going on with him until we get that toxicology and autopsy back. But let's just call a spade a spade. Nobody's seen nothing. There's no buildings on this place, on this island. No places to hide, no electricity, no nothing. And it's covered with boats and covered with people. And the first thing that the sheriff comes out and says, not just an hour after his body's found, oh, it was an accidental drowning. You don't even know that. You haven't conducted an investigation or anything.
Wow.
But this has been common practice in that area.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? It's been common
Yeah.
practice when black people die in that area and foul play is suspected, law enforcement comes out and says, no foul play. Mistake. Accident. Everything's ruled an accident. Now, they don't rule black on black crime. Of course, they don't rule on that because that's, oh yeah, we've got to have something to say that they're doing to each other. If Pookie Pow Pow's baby kid over here, they don't have a problem publicizing that. They don't have a problem with that. But when it looks like something potentially racially motivated, they tend to use it was an accident. They tried to say that, what's his name? The one I just mentioned was in college in Mississippi, and they found him hanging, and they said that he unalived himself.
Yeah.
That's the other go-to. That's the other go-to. They unalived themselves. They're hanging from a tree, but they did it to themselves. Y'all clearly don't understand, do you? Until it happens to your family. Maybe you'll understand it if it were to happen to your family. But, when you're not on that side of the road, you're not going to understand. You're not going to understand how that feels. When you come from a people that when the Constitution was written, they weren't even considered human. They were considered property. And when you come from that and have literally fought your way up as a people. Trey Reed, thank you, sweetheart. That's the one I was trying to remember. Hold on. You said Trey Reed did commit. Ben Crump won't release the secondary autopsy and has abandoned the family. Look it up, lady. I will look it up, but I haven't heard that.
I haven't either.
Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that. What happened to the Trey? Is it Trey Reed?
TRE
case? Okay. You telling the truth. Trey Reed family says Ben Crump stopped responding for months. He told the truth there. Yes, he did. He told the truth. Let me get rid of this thing on my screen. Sometimes I hate when Windows does that. They blow the whole screen up.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me exit that. Okay. What happened? It just disappeared. Okay, that's according to the Clarion Ledger.
Race hustle.
Death of Trey Reed ruled a fuck is this X keep popping up? As family questions remain, the death of a black student found hanging on campus in Mississippi has been officially classified as a you-know-what, according to the county coroner. Ben Crump vowed to help D. Martravion, or Trey, Reed's family, find answers about his death. Nearly a year later, relatives say they still don't have the final independent autopsy report and have struggled for months to get updates from those handling the private investigation. Trey Reed, 21, was found hanging from a tree on the Delta State University campus in Cleveland, Mississippi, early on September 15, 2025. Days later, the Mississippi State Medical Examiner announced his cause of death was hanging and the manner of death was self-unaliving, with no foul play suspected. So that was their initial thing, right?
Yeah.
At the time, his family said they didn't believe it. They hired civil rights attorney Crump for a private investigation. He's been highly visible in other Mississippi cases. He's representing the family of Nolan Wells, a Gulf Coast teen who was reported missing and died after a July 4th boat trip to Horn Island. Crump is also part of the legal team for the family of 1-year-old Cohen Wiley, who Senatobia police shot on Sunday, June 14th. Trey's family deserves answers they can trust. I agree. I agree. Thank you for pointing that out to me, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Now, we won't say necessarily that that's a race hustle. They just don't have the answers yet, because that could still be the case. But I feel what you're saying. But I would be pissed off if I were the family too.
I would too.
I would feel pissed off because my situation is just as important as anybody else's, especially if I came first. But that does not discount the original sin, so to speak.
Right, and you've already received your autopsy report for Nolan.
Right, he shouldn't have done that. I mean, if nothing else, pass it off to someone else who's got the time to take care of it.
Right.
But don't just have them people hanging like that.
Yeah, and if
that's
you
not
run
cool.
out of money, raise more.
Yeah.
Raise money on the calls.
It says, we cannot accept rushed conclusions when the stakes are this high. By demanding the family be allowed to view any video and commissioning an independent autopsy, we are taking every step to uncover the truth about what happened to Trey. Every student deserves to feel safe where they live and learn. That is why it is so important to get to the bottom of this tragedy, Crump said September 17th. Okay, that was on the 17th, Crump. Come on now. He should have, if you couldn't handle the caseload, you should have passed it to someone who can.
Yeah, and we can't say.
Because I'm not going to say, oh, well, they were wrong because he dropped the ball.
Right. We don't know. We still do not know.
Yeah.
So,
okay, the screen just went.
Again.
But I appreciate you pointing that out, sweetheart.
Yeah, he needs to let them know.
I appreciate it.
Immediately.
Okay. We're going to move on. Okay, so I think, I got through. See, Wells family members who are represented by civil rights lawyer Ben Crump has garnered support from prominent figures, including Tyler Perry, former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick, and the Reverend Al Sharpton. As witnesses in the case allegedly face threats, Crump recently told News Nation that Wells' mother, a nurse, has also been subjected to online abuse. And ain't nobody running to her side to help. Christine has been a nurse for years, and she hasn't ever gotten negative reviews, he told News Nation, adding that sick people have been going on her company's website giving her negative reviews since she began demanding answers about Wells. They are just sick, evil people who would attack this mother and his father for simply saying, we want to know what happened to our child. Don't worry, Christine, we are standing with you. No charges have been filed in connection with Wells' death. The official state autopsy has been completed, but its findings have not been made public or shared with his family, according to their attorney. Okay, so that's for that portion. I just feel like this: if you're going to do it for one side, do it for both sides. If you're going to protect victims, protect both sides. I don't agree with attacking the families of the white boys. I don't agree with attacking the family of this young man that just lost his life either. I don't agree with that. That's wrong. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share with you this little message that she sent everybody. But first, let me turn this down. You know I got a problem with this music. Be too loud. Okay, hold on just a second. And also, let me get this off the screen too. D-I-T. D hit him hard. D hit him hard. Thank you. D hit him hard. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay. Let me add her to the stage. And I'm going to go ahead and play this for you. Where's the button?
Hey, Pooh Bears. Let me say this. My husband and I are going to continue to advocate. I know so many people are like, oh my God, you need to stay on social media. You need to give it a break. Well, just know I'm not on social media all day. I'm not. I've been heavy in my Kindle. And then, of course, too, I have other children that I take care of.
Can you guys hear this? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear this. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear this. Were you able to hear it, Lady Letitia?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm hearing an echo. Do you have your mic on?
I did.
Oh, okay. Test, test. Okay. Okay. Let me see if I'm going to start this over so you guys can hear it again.
Hey, Pooh Bears. Let me say this. My husband and I are going to continue to advocate. I know so many people are like, oh my God, you need to stay off social media. You need to give it a break. Well, just know I'm not on social media all day. I'm not. I've been heavy in my Kindle. And then, of course, too, I have other children that I take care of. But occasionally I do pop on. Most of the time I just post, come off. But trust and believe that I'm doing the things I need to do to take care of my mental. And sometimes posting does feel nice because I get to check in with my different Pooh Bears and see how everyone is doing. But if you have an issue with me advocating and asking questions, I don't think I'm the problem, babe. I think you're the problem. I think you need to take a step back and ask yourself, why are you so triggered? Or what is causing you to be so upset that I am asking for answers? That is it. That is all. Never ask for special treatment, none of that. But there are just a lot of people who's bothered. But what I will tell you is that there are a lot more people who, despite the nasty negative narratives that are trying to be thrown out there, there's a lot of other people supporting me and my husband Elmore. And we just appreciate that. You know, just as parents, losing a child, I'm telling you y'all, it hits different. My mom passed away. It's going to be 8 years. And this hurt, I've said this in another video, this hurt is different. This is like a soul-wrenching hurt. Like you feel like your heart is just being ripped out. Like,
I totally agree. That there's something about the loss of your child that it hits different than any other loss imaginable. And that is the God's honest truth. You expect to outlive your parents. That's, kind of common. But you don't expect to lose your child. You really don't. And it never feels different. I mean, you never completely get over it. They say time heals all wounds. It doesn't heal them. It numbs it a little bit, but it doesn't heal it completely. And that's the truth.
I And I don't even know if that's even a good way to describe this hurt, but yeah. But I just want to say thank you guys. Like I'm telling y'all, like, thank you so much. Thank you to all the content creators who are using their podcasts, their platforms, all those things to make sure that Nolan's story is going. Like, I appreciate y'all. And I know I say thank you all the time, but even when I'm broken, like I still need to give thanks, whether it's thanking the Lord for another day, thanking him for the time we had with Nolan, or just simply saying thank you to you guys for just loving on me and my family and your prayers. And I appreciate it. I'm sorry I can't get back to everybody because it is overwhelming, but just know I appreciate you and I love you. And I'm going to go clean up and get my life together. Have a great Sunday, guys.
Oh, God bless her. My prayers are with her because I know how she feels now. I didn't go through what she went through, not exactly, because what she went through is very traumatic in comparison. I've lost a child too, and it's just a hurt that you never really get over, and she still doesn't have answers, and it's fresh. This is not even, it's barely a month. So I just couldn't imagine being in her shoes and still having to take care of the rest of the siblings and the husband, and you know what I'm saying? And now people are attacking her on her job. That's not fair. That's not right. And then to be accused of being a racist because you want to protect what the kids left? No. Not cool. That's not cool at all. But, people believe what they want to believe until you wearing them shoes, Michelle says, yet nobody that have threatened the Wells family have been arrested. Interesting how quickly they investigated and found those who threatened the judge. Exactly, but see, remember, the judge is someone in power. They are somebody in the the judicial system. They're going to get preferential treatment in this particular type of situation. That's what happens when you got a little bit of money and power. They protect them first. That's how it feels. That's what it seems like. So anyway, I'm gonna move on to the last segment. I wanted to end this last segment on a little bit lighter note. Okay. Oh, and just as a side note, I thought I'd throw this in there because I just found this out, but I don't have any more information on it. But apparently, there's a TikToker out there by the name of J Megan, and this young lady is literally, she's going hard in the paint for this case. And according to J Megan, she alleges not only is there a fourth boat, but also a lie in their timeline and a political connection, who is a former governor of Mississippi and a connection to Turning Point USA. This thing is getting really crazy, you guys. So, just stay tuned. I'm sure there'll be more to that story. But that's the latest with regard to that situation. But I wanted to end this live on a little bit more of a comical note, even though this is not a comical subject. Sometimes we have to laugh through the pain, if you know what I'm saying. Don Lemon this morning had a guest on there who happens to be a friend of the family of the Wells family. And I didn't get to see the whole video, but I saw enough. So he did another video this afternoon, and this time it was based on that first interview. He had a guest on there, like I said, and he did another interview, or not interview. He did an interview, but he did another live stream based on that first one, sharing what happened on that first one. And I'm sure you guys will get a taste of what everybody witnessed on this morning's live stream. But this time he had on his panel comedian Godfrey. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys know who Godfrey is. He's one of my most favorite comedians. He is hilarious. If you know who Godfrey is, put a 1 in the chat. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share this video. Man, Godfrey's hilarious, but you guys will probably be appalled at some of the some of the things that have been said. Satin said, Auntie, check out comedian Shula King short. The title is Whose Suit Is. I know Shula King, yeah. I know who he is. He's funny too. Yeah. Okay. This, for some reason, my screen doesn't want to behave. But I'm going to work with it anyway. So let me share it.
Evening, everybody. Welcome to Lemon Live at 5. Boy. Did you see that interview this morning? Wow. Oh my gosh, look at that, right? Meme. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, hit the like and the thumbs up, please, because it does affect the algorithm. More people become aware.
This guy had the chat on Don Lemon's show this morning on fire. Some of the things that this guy said you could not believe. And this is a resident of Mississippi. And it just it was indicative of the mindset. You know, how some things can be so conditioned and it's so baked in that it may appear to be normal to that person, but standing on the outside, you can clearly see this is not normal. That type of behavior or tolerance of the racism is not, it's not tolerated. So let me see. I don't know if he's going to even show any of that, but I'm going to show you his afternoon show.
Of our conversation on our channel. I was listening to it today with one of my guests. I have a guest that was in studio today. You're going to hear from, we're going to drop that a little bit later on, but even he was surprised by it. So let me know where you are streaming from. Welcome to Lemon Live at 5 o'clock Eastern time here on the East Coast. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about. I mean, crazy. I don't even know how you would describe that, because people were saying the sunken place and not many people know what this, y'all know what the sunken place is. Like when I was trying to tell him like he's too close to it or whatever. I know, look, the guy's not here. I don't want to, he can't defend himself, but it was, let's just say it was quite an experience in, I feel like it was regression from, like having left Louisiana in the 90s. I felt like sometimes it's still there. Like I used to say back in the day, I used to say, I would come to New York, and I lived in New York, and I was like, New York is so much more like, it's so like, sometimes it's like leaps and bounds ahead of the rest of the country. And I know.
Now, some of you may not know, and some of you already do know, Don Lemon is originally born and raised in Louisiana. So, even though he was on CNN and very refined, and, he's a Southern boy.
People sort of hate to hear that. I'm going to give myself a little more volume, Andy. I don't know if that helps anything, just a little bit more. And so I feel like it's New York City sort of ahead of everyone, ahead of the curve on many things. Now, don't get me wrong. Not that there's not racism in New York City, not there's not like some regression in New York City. People aren't bass backwards, as they say, which means ass backwards. It's not even that. But I would say when I go home to Louisiana, it feels like I've gone back like a couple of decades. Like I'd feel like I was going back to kind of the 60s or 70s, like when I would live in New York in the early 90s, the mid 90s and early to mid 90s. And then I would say it's like Chicago. When I would go to Chicago, I felt like I was going back to Chicago, and San Diego for me are kind of like, San Diego's kind of like Chicago by the sea for me. It's like I went back to the 80s. and everybody's having like a steak and cigarettes and a martini at lunch, right? And then all of a sudden Mad Men came about, and I was like, that's it. That's what Chicago is like. So you feel like, you know, people are like, okay, living there. And then you go to LA and people are sort of still living in the 70s with the blonde hair and the flips and it's like everybody's living in like Charlie's Angels land. And then you get to New York and you're like, oh, whew, we're back in the present or in the future. And so, and then same thing, I'd go to DC and I would feel like, wait a minute, I'm not quite in the South, but I'm kind of in the South. It's the same mentality. It's really slow. Everything closes really early. People aren't so open-minded, even though they're in politics. It's kind of crazy. I don't like it. It's a one-horse town. It's all politics. Everybody.
I'm going to go ahead and skip forward a little bit because he's doing a lot of talking.
Going on as a Washington, D.C. correspondent. Of course, we're going to talk to him about Washington because that's what's up. Did they get any new idea? By the way, like and thumbs up. Right? Affects the algorithm. Let me know where you're streaming from. I saw that Chicago, San Diego's in the house. Chi-Town, as they say, is in the house. So don't get mad. Okay.
Guys, hit the like button, by the
I
way.
love Chicago.
Can I
Yeah.
break news? For folks who watched this morning, breaking news. Dawn and I booked our plane tickets. We've got dinner with Emmanuel tomorrow night.
Don't even joke about it. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. People were not happy. Detroit wasn't happy. North Carolina wasn't happy. Long Beach, California was
A lot
not
of people
happy.
wasn't happy. Let me see if I can go forward some more. I want y'all to see this dude. I just want you guys to see the interview with him. I hope it's in here. Hold on just a second. Okay, he's going to play it with Godfrey. Okay, so let me get past this commercial. Okay.
Godfrey, sorry, I was texting someone. It's a very important text. It's a
Ron,
very
so
important text. Okay, so Godfrey, someone in the comment section. Wait, let me get back to Godfrey. Where is Godfrey? Where Godfrey at? Okay, here it is. So Godfrey, someone said this about you going to the gym. Now, they're saying you all lotioned up. You're not ashy.
I'm not ashy, but I ain't lotioned up. I don't get greasy before I go work out.
Go to the gym. Now, are you one of those people? Do you shower? I'm in shower before I go to the gym because I won't stink in front of nobody.
Well, I shower before. Yeah, I'm always like clean, before I go to the gym. I don't stink and stuff like that. But I don't usually take showers at the gym really because I come right back home. You know what I'm saying?
No. I shower before I go to the gym, get in the car or walk to the gym. And then, because sometimes people be.
There's a lot of weirdos, especially old white dudes like to dry they nutsack with the dryer. Nasty. White dudes are always naked the longest. They just be, hey, how you doing, Bob? Yeah. I'm like, could you put your balls away?
Wait.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, man, I be like this, and all the black dudes, we be wrapped up like mummies, just trying to put our clothes on.
3,000.
Right, we got 8 towels. We hopping with 18 towels. We look like a mummy. You know how women would take off their bra without taking off their shirt? That's how we putting our underwear on. We like, shit, let me see. And the white dude just be like butt ass naked, no towel, just walking around. Hey man, how was your workout? I don't know. You're Don Lemon, aren't you? Hey. Right, like, hey, yeah, it's hard to talk with your ball sack out, buddy. Could you get your
Satin says Sheila King is a licensed bonus side licensed funeral home director. He gave his opinion on Nolan's autopsy report in that short, Auntie. How could he do that if it hasn't been released yet? I'm not clear on what he gave an opinion on. If you could put that in the chat.
scrotum away from me? Thanks. And you're using the hair dryer. That's what we want to use. But it's on your scrotum. That's a little nasty.
Luckily, I don't need this.
Okay, we will move forward.
Godfrey, you have been reporting on this Nolan Wells thing.
It's nasty. It's nasty, man. I'm like, ugh.
Let's move on now.
So this morning, Godfrey, you have been reporting on this Nolan Wells thing, and I have been reporting on this Nolan Wells thing.
But you really report on it because you're about that journalistic thing, you know?
So can we talk about an interview that I did this morning? And I'm not making fun of this guy. Maybe you want to, I don't know, but it was one of the craziest interviews. And I hate to say when people are in the sunken place, but I felt like I don't want to put words in your mouth. Andy, you choose the one you want to roll for Godfrey, and then we'll go with it.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Now, you guys, I'm going to step away for just a moment, but I'm going to let it roll for you.
I know that. I'm from the South. I've been saying that people in the South, black people and white people integrate more than they do in the North. But that's mostly about socioeconomics. Doesn't mean that racism is solved. It's because basically those people who live together are the same part of the socioeconomic group. So if you are mostly middle-class people and you have grown up there, you are going to pretty much be together in the same places. But here in the North, it is about rich people who are all together. Most of them mainly are white because that's sort of, generational wealth. Most black people didn't have the opportunity to do that. But here in the North, it is more polarized than it is in the South. The South, I think, used to be segregated, but people are more polarized here in the North than they are in the South.
Now, I know you can speak on that better than most because you're from the South and you've been living all over. You've been living in the North. So I can understand.
Not only am I from the South and living in the North, my family just left here. And we had a long discussion about this and a long discussion about people who believe that racism is over or just because people are what they're called, there's race mixing. That's what the racists used to call it back. But people who are marrying interracial marriage, they think that racism is over because of that. And it's not. But it doesn't mean that it is as bad as back in Emmett Till. We make progress.
Racist people is going to always be with us. There's nothing you can do about that. That's why Jesus Christ suffered, bled, and died for that very same thing. Is because racist people going to walk amongst you. But who really cares about the quiet racist? He's a racist and he's quiet and he don't say nothing about it. He over there. If he not bothering you, he can be racist over there. As long as he don't come and shove it down my throat, I don't care what he is over there, right? He's not affecting me. If he ain't affecting me.
You don't know that. But you don't know what that quiet racist is doing. You don't know who he's influencing. You don't know what kids and grandkids he's influencing. You don't know that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
is you don't know who he's supporting. Maybe he's sending money to the Klan. You don't know.
But when I'm speaking of quiet, I'm talking about the ones who just keeping it to himself. You know what I'm saying? If he's quiet with it, I agree with what you're saying right there. I agree with that.
Emmanuel.
If he's helping people be racist, that's a problem. And when I'm speaking,
but how do you know that if he's quiet about it? Quiet is kept. You know what quiet is kept is, right?
Hey, I'm just saying, man. Bro, if you got a health problem and it don't show up on this blood result, then good deal.
Then eventually, one day, it's going to kill you.
Doesn't he realize what he just said? Just ignoring it just because you don't see it don't mean it's not there. Right. Put a one in the chat if you understand that. By ignoring it does not make it not exist. And if anything else, just like a disease, you can have a disease if you're not feeling the effects of it right away. It doesn't mean it ain't there, because eventually it's going to hit you and it's going to kill you.
Right.
Even if it doesn't show up, even if you don't know about it, it's still going to kill you.
He reminds me of them Hebrew Israelites. When they got the beards, they be like, but listen, brother, you got to understand that the quietness of the racism is just like bad health. And that's psychological because the Hittites and the Mennonites came from Mount Sinai, and that is the reason why the black man is the way he is, and the white man comes from the Caucasus Mountains, and that same psychology goes within their violence. That's why there's nothing wrong with a quiet racist, my brother.
The physical
anytime they got a beard,
autonomy of the equivocation
of the psychological prostration. See, brother, that's the problem with you brothers, man.
Y'all remember that character in Living Color? Put a one in the chat if you remember the character that Damon Wayans played on in Living Color, the guy that was in prison and he was making up all kind of words, just talking and making up all kind of words, throwing all kind of words in there, like he done opened an encyclopedia and learned a bunch of words and threw them in there thinking he's saying something, and by rights he ain't saying nothing. He just putting together a bunch of words and sounding foolish. That was funny. Hold on.
See, I got a beard of knowledge. You see my beard? That's knowledge, my brother. And then the way I hold my hands means that I am more educated than you. And I'm trying to tell you, we came from China, not from Africa, brother. Read right now. It says that the tribe of Judah will come and conquer the black man. Stop right there. Stop right there. As you can see right now, what I said was that a silent racist comes from the ancient Egyptians, brother, from the hieroglyphics. You got to understand. Read. It says that the hieroglyphics is the reason why the white man is quiet and silent. Stop right there.
And silence is golden. And remember the golden rule.
You got to understand, silence was invented in Africa. Silence was invented in Africa. Noise came from the white man. Silence was invented in Africa. There was a brother named Silencio. That's where silence comes from the Caucasus Mountains, brother.
Wait, do the face.
My brother. Read. Yo, man, you got to start using your knowledge, Don Lemon. I love what you're doing, brother. You got to start using your knowledge. I know you're from Louisiana, but that's where the slave mentality comes from with the Creole shit, brother.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Andy, do you have the one about who dads want their daughters and what's racist and what's not? I'm going to see if you can make heads or tails of this.
Oh, shoot.
I don't even know where to start when you're talking about someone who doesn't want. Yeah, that's bias. That's prejudice. If someone.
Lady Letitia.
Yes.
Are you still there?
Yes.
This one's gonna trip you out. This one, yeah.
One doesn't want, because it shouldn't be about race. You should be about you. If you're a father, you should be about who your daughter loves, whether you're a black man, a white man, or whoever. And so to say that if I don't want my daughter to marry a white man and I'm a black man, yeah, that's bias. That's racial bias.
So you can't have a preference for what cake or what car you prefer. Does that mean that you're prejudiced against?
Well, you can't compare cars. You can't compare cars to people. That's not the same thing. Come on.
Yo,
we not. So you saying people not allowed to have a preference? That don't mean.
You're allowed to have a preference, but if the preference is based on race, that's problematic. No, because we're all humans. If you like people, some people like dark-haired people, some people like light-haired people. But if you discount an entire race, that's racism.
No. If a man says, "I want somebody that looks like me or resemble me to marry my daughter," that does not mean that person
That's not your decision.
Racist.
That's not your decision.
Yeah, we know it's not his decision. But he didn't say that. Decision. I didn't say anything that person would not accept another race come marry his daughter. God. I'm just saying it does not mean that a person is racist if he wants.
Are you in the
if a black man wants his daughter to marry another black man, that does not make him a racist. And the same with a white guy. If a white guy wants his daughter to marry a white guy,
I'm going to move on. Let me just say this. I'm going to move on because I want to talk about you. Okay. It's exactly what I said to you in the beginning of this. You're too close to it to even understand what it is. First of all, it's not that dad's decision about who his daughter marries. That's the point. That is actually misogyny, right? The fact that you think that you can control or you should control who your daughter marries, and the fact that you don't understand that.
Control it. I didn't say he can control it. She can pick. Oh God. Here's where the racism come in. If his daughter brings home a certain person of another race, and then he says, "I don't want him in here," after that's what she chose, yeah, that's racist. I agree with you there.
No. That's racism. That's aggression. But him preferring someone of another preferring someone of his race, that is racism. I am preferring someone of my own race. That is the definition of racism. Now, if he gets aggressive with the other guy, that's aggression and violence. But to say, if you look up the definition of racism, it is preferring, in that definition, someone of your own race.
Okay. So, put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that concept, and 2 if you don't. I'm just curious. 1 if you agree, 2 if you disagree with Don.
I'm in between.
Because I agree with Don. It's not up to daddy. It's up to the daughter. And the reasoning behind it is what deciphers whether it's racist or not.
Right. That's where I'm in between. Like, well, I don't think it's racism. I think he's being more biased or prejudiced.
Right. And see, what many people don't seem to be able to separate is there's a difference between racism and prejudice. Racism is a hatred. Prejudice is more like a preference, so to speak. I prefer, but it's not a hatred issue. You don't hate. You see, it's like, okay, I prefer to eat grapes instead of apples because I like the taste of grapes more than apples. Not to say that I don't like apples, I just like one more than the other. Racist is to blatantly say, I don't want apples at all. I just want strictly grapes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when are you allowed to have a preference? When are you allowed to have a preference?
I got to go. You can't have a preference. Everybody has a preference, but that's not racism.
But racism is totally different than a preference. If he prefers,
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Like even
I'm not going to go on with this. I'm gonna.
I think the operative word that he fails to recognize is race. Racist.
Right.
Prejudice is not about racism. Racist is about racism.
I'm going to send you someone who can talk to you better about this, and it's Eddie Glott. I'm going to give you your number.
Anthony said the green.
I actually like the guy. I actually like him.
Right?
I like that he says the wrong shit but goes, yeah. But see, you picking somebody from another race is like ordering cake. If I like chocolate cake, I'm racist against the vanilla cake. See, it's to say you said we're not going to compare cars and cakes. Now, if I want a Rolls Royce. And I don't want a Benz. I'm racist against the Benz. See, that's the same thing. Like I said before, the Hittites and the Mennonites coming from Mount Sinai wanted cake. In Ecclesiastes verses 5-7, it says, "You shall eat chocolate cake within thy soul, but do not hate the white cake." Read. Well, listen. I what he was. Listen, like when black people say, I would rather you marry somebody black or be with somebody black, it's not coming from a racist standpoint. It's coming from a pride standpoint because of black people being so put down, and just having pride in your own people. When white folks usually say, I don't want you marrying a black person, it's because they just are being racist. They hate black people. They'll say, oh, you're ruining the bloodline, shit. Like they're coming from a different angle. Black folks we can be bigoted, prejudiced and bigoted, yes. But as far as racism, that's a power thing,
That comes from power.
That comes from power.
Like if systems of power.
Right. If a black person says, hey, man, I hope you marry a black man, or I hope you marry a black woman, it's just from black women being the least desired, the most over-sexualized. It's what propaganda has made black women. So or black men, always villainizing us, I think it comes from a place of pride and actually being proud of who you are, because we've been so trained to think white folks are the greatest things in the world, or being closer to white is better. So it's not the same. It's not the same thing. But my man was explaining it. You explained it to him, and then he tried to re-explain it to you. You know what I mean? It was really. But I actually liked the guy. He didn't get mad at you. I think he knew he was wrong.
Oh, he loved it. But he was like, no, listen, Don, listen.
Yeah, he goes, Don, listen, man. Listen, okay, forget the cake. Let's stick with cookies. Let's stick with cookies, brother. Let's stick with cookies. Chocolate chip cookies or pecan? But that's what I mean when someone says, hey, when it comes to black folks, we obviously are not racist towards people. We just, Black people, whether it's African, Caribbean, we've been beaten down by white supremacy so badly. When we just ask for our own people, it's coming from a pride thing. It's not coming from, we hate white people. No. But when it's them, it's usually, I don't want Black people because I just don't like Black people. And they have a history of it. We have proof. That's all.
Yeah, but also, look, Mark Lamont Hill used to tell me this all the time when he was on CNN.
Yeah.
And he's like, not everything is black and white, so to speak, right? Like the white, like the reactions to white people are, it's not, you can't compare that to the reactions to Black people all the time. It's not an apples and oranges situation, especially considering the history of this nation.
Yes.
But people don't like, but he did, do we have one of those things, Andy? I'm not sure if he got the one where he said, we need to stop talking about racism. Like, when are we going to, because if we don't, he sounds like one of those politicians that say, if you just stop talking, I guess it's like MAGA, if you just stop talking about racism.
Can we all just get along?
Can we all?
Barbara, I think you're way behind in the live stream, but Barbara says, did they get the person who sent her the death threat? Are you talking about the judge? Oh, she's not going to even see this right now. I'm not sure who you're referring to, sweetheart. I'm not sure who you're referring to. The Christine or the judge. I don't know.
Just get along. I have not heard that mentality since I left Louisiana, anything like that since I left in the early 90s.
Just stop talking. That's like saying, just stop talking about roaches and your house is all dirty. Come on, stop. You got to kill the problem. You got to clean up your house. You got to clean racism, and you got to clean up your mentality for that shit to go away. You can't just stop talking about it and then still have it in your head. It's just like sexism. You can't go stop talking about sexism and still be disgusting towards women, treating them like second-class citizens. You got to change your mentality and treat people accordingly for it to go away. But,
true that.
You know, I think, you know what? I just saw a video on Donald Trump's niece who just broke down racism, white racism. She's awesome. Have you heard about her? Mary Trump?
Mary Trump. Right now,
she broke it down. She goes, white people have the privilege of forgetting of what happened. That's their problem. They always have the luxury of forgetting of what they've done to Native American people, Black people. You know, the system is geared for them to not actually have to think about it. That's why they get so riled up when you bring up the history. They don't want to learn about it. And you have to learn about it to better yourself. Hey, it's like going to a doctor's office. Whenever you go to a doctor's office, what's the first thing they pull out? They pull out your medical history. You have to know your history, the history of your family, diseases, so they can actually assess how you are, what they can do with you as far as treatment. No one goes into a doctor's office and they go, spread out your cheeks. Why? Don't worry about it. Let me just see what's going on in here.
I just want to see.
Oh, I'm the janitor anyway. I just want to warm you up for the doctor.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Everybody brings out, even when you watch.
That doesn't happen?
Oh my God.
Even when you watch sports, Don, you watch sports, they always talk about the person's history. They always say this person was on this team, he got traded. They always talk about the history. That's why when you recruit athletes, you got to know where they went to school, where they played, how is their stats. It's the same thing with Black history. You should learn the history so you know how to behave going forward. But a lot of whites are very resistant to learning their history. They take everything personal. I go, dude, it happened. Why don't you just learn it so you can better yourself? But they think it's an indictment on them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I go, learn your history, the proper history, so that you can treat people with respect. So that
the best thing that one can do is find out their history, regardless of what color they are, because history has a tendency to repeat itself if you don't change the path that you take. And unfortunately, many people choose to ignore the past because they don't want to be, and this is not just something that I think, this is something that I've heard them say, certain people say, is that I don't need to be reminded of that. That wasn't me. That was my ancestors. I didn't do that. That was them. But you still reap the benefits from that behavior. And the more you ignore the behavior, the more destined you're going to repeat the behavior, whether you intend to or not. And sometimes you got to get past the guilt and acknowledge that it happened. You don't have to feel guilty if you don't feel that way. You can't afford to feel guilty about something that you didn't do, but you can't ignore what happened simply because it happened because of your ancestors. Your ancestors did this. And because your ancestors are the perpetrators of such things, you are the beneficiary of the things that they did. Black people now are the beneficiaries of their past, be it good or bad.
That you can better yourself and not be that person that, I don't know, whoever your family was. I don't know every white family. You feel what I'm saying? So, and there are whites that are working on it. They're online. Like you got Jolly Ginger who stands 10 toes on looking for justice. You got the Dixie white dude. You got a lot of white historians from Tim Wise to, you got Jane Elliott in her 90s still doing her thing. So there are whites that are putting their asses on the line. And a lot of them stay silent because whites come at them, because they always say the worst thing than a nigger is a nigger lover. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why they get silent, because they're afraid, Yeah, man.
Okay. Let's talk about Nolan's white friends.
Yeah.
I have an explanation for you about why, possibly. Because when the photographs came out initially, it was just Nolan with all white people, right? And he's and so the world, this is not just Ben Crump. The family asked Ben Crump to come in. It's not like he volunteered to do this, okay? So, and not that I'm defending Ben Crump. I'm just sort of explaining to you why why people think race is involved and why it's involved. First of all, let's just be honest, Emmanuel. We know the history of the country. We do know the history of Mississippi. And one of the best indicators of what the present is and possibly the future is the history, right? Of something, the history of your medical thing. You heard Al Sharpton say that at the funeral. When you go into the doctor and you say, this hurts, or I have this ailment, and they go, what medication are you taking? What's your family's medical history? Okay, so you have that history in Mississippi. Not everybody lives in Mississippi. And so the people who are on the internet, the people who don't live in Mississippi, they see a black guy with all white guys and they go, oh, he's the only one that didn't come home. The history of Mississippi, blah, blah, blah. So people start putting two and two together, and that's why race is involved in this, because that is the history of America. Now, whether race played a role in his demise, no one knows that. No one knows that, but there is no denying that race plays a part in this case simply because of the optics. That's where the race part came in.
Michelle says DC and Virginia are considered as southern states. Mixed relationships are frowned on in DC. I was taken to the safe area for mixed and relationships of different sexual preferences. I believe it. You see, that's why a lot of people migrated from the South up here, up north and to the West Coast, to escape that mentality. And unfortunately, some of those people that came up here brought the same mentality with them. So, unfortunately, we haven't escaped it. It's just more prevalent in some areas more so than others. And the South has a very deep, long-term history of racism. And West Coast, California, and even some places in the Midwest are a little bit more watered down, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Okay. And just when you think that times are getting better, you turn around and look what happens. Something comes up, some racism rears its ugly head and reminds us that we're not in the clear, not by a long shot.
That may be offensive to some people there, but the truth is often offensive. That is the reality in America. Yeah, yes, sir. You can ask me, but we're here to have a conversation.
Okay. When Emmett Till was killed in 1955, I believe it was, he died for whistling and simply looking at a white woman. Now, we have went from there to making babies with these white women.
Okay, hold on. First of all, let's get this straight. Let's get this shit straight right now. Emmett Till was accused of whistling at a white woman. There's a difference between whistling at a white woman and a white woman accusing you of whistling at you. And back then that was frowned upon, so much so that this woman literally came out and lied, told a bald-faced lie to her husband and brother-in-law. And if you don't know the story of Emmett Till, I suggest you read it. But they took that young 14-year-old boy and they found him in the Mississippi River, unrecognizable. And the sad part about it is this woman lived to be a ripe old age of shit. 90? Damn near 90. And it wasn't until she was damn near dead that she admitted that she lied. So let me clarify what this dude pretty much, he just told a mistruth. I'll put it like that. Maybe he's not educated in that area. Emmett Till didn't do nothing wrong. He didn't whistle at that woman.
When does that go out of the window for as, you know, this racial component of Mississippi history years ago? How can we accept that history when it comes to
you can accept it by acknowledging the problem. You accept it by acknowledging the problem and acknowledging the reality of the history of the country. You accept it by saying, I understand why people think race is involved. I understand why, right.
I understand why people do it, but what I'm saying is it a fair assessment for us
to live here when we have assessment.
We have nothing but a bunch of we have nothing but mixed kids running around down here.
But just because you have mixed kids, it doesn't mean that you're not racist.
Oh Lord, have mercy. This dude is so God. Oh God. Just because people are laying down having babies does not mean racism is gone. Come on, man. Devon says, I hear Emmett Till had a lisp. When he spoke, he whistled, and she, the white woman, never was straight about what happened, but she acknowledged that she lied. So she was straight on what happened. She bald-faced lied on that boy. Now, whistling and lisping are two different things, and even a lisp, if you accidentally whistle while you lisp, it's not the kind of whistle that one would deem to be disrespectful to a woman. And that woman bald-faced lied, and she admitted it on her deathbed.
It's no excuse for them treating that young man like that.
Exactly.
None whatsoever.
Doesn't mean that
dying now. Back then they died for looking at her. Now we're sleeping with them and having kids and nobody's dying.
One thing. Let me ask you this, Emmanuel. Do you know why Nolan died or how?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right.
So I'm for an investigation. That's why I said I'm for Al and them coming here and investigating. But Don, what I'm saying is I don't think he should have led with this strong racial, the same people who killed Emmett Till. And I mean, that was almost 100 years ago. And we're now sleeping with white women, and white men are now sleeping with black women, creating babies with these people, man. I mean,
that doesn't mean that racism. I think that your idea of what racism isn't necessarily calling people the N-word or beating them up. It is a system that is based on superiority and history and present and sometimes people who are in relationships with people of a different ethnicity or a different background, they still have not dealt with racial issues. And sometimes, sometimes the love for people of a different ethnicity is a similar love, especially for blacks and whites, all right? Especially of a certain generation. It's the same sort of love that you have for a pet.
My God, here we go.
Where you are, I'm serious, where you love them, you protect them, you pay for everything, but it doesn't mean it's the same love that you have for a human being. It's kind of that, okay, I understand that. In America, the reason that we have this is because we don't deal in a fulsome way with race. We're not honest about it. And we think that racism is something where it is overt. It's not always overt. And there are people who came up through the civil rights movement and people who were discriminated against, they're still here. And the people who were part of the Klan, there's a huge Ku Klux Klan contingent in this country. There are people who are part of the Proud Boys who said that they're racist. There are people part of the new neo-Nazis. They say they are racist and they are open with it. So, and a lot of that comes from the South, from Louisiana, where I am, and from Mississippi. And if you go there, if I can drive 5 minutes from where you are and find a person who's involved in one of those groups and a person who's in that community. So don't tell me that racism is stamped out in Mississippi and where you are because people are sleeping together. First of all, people have urges, and people used to sleep with each other on plantations.
Yeah, let's talk about that part where the white plantation owner would go to the quarters of the female slave and grape her in front of her husband. That was power. That was all about power.
It's horrible.
They wanted to demean that black man and violate that black woman because it made him feel powerful. And if we fast forward to today, some white men prefer black women, not for power, but because they fall in love with them. They fall in love with a woman instead of the color of that woman. But there are some out there that choose not to bed a person of a different race of them because of the history, and they stay true to their own. So there's many reasons why people sleep with whoever they sleep with. But let's not make no mistake about it. White men were sleeping with black women a long time ago, and it wasn't reciprocated back then because it was about power. He had the power to take it from her, and he did so to do two things: to demean her as a woman and to beat him down as a man, that black man, because he had the power to do so. He owned them. They were perceived as property. And we can go off into a whole diatribe of the mentality of white men, but we're not going to go off into that because that's a totally different story. I mean, shit. My father quit. He got fired from a job because of the color of my mother. So this ain't nothing new under the sun.
I'm just saying, the master used to sleep with the people on the plantation, women and men.
Right. I mean, I was out.
That's all about urge. That's a lot about urge, and you know, you need to get your freak on.
Oh man, that was a lot. Yo,
did you ever hear that story about the guy? It's on the internet. The guy who, God, I wish I could find it. The guy who said he was with his friend, who is a white friend, and they were talking about race. And he said his mom came in who was of a certain age. If you guys have seen it on the internet.
She called the N-word? No.
He said something about the N-word. Oh, he said, I was growing up and I had a nigger nanny, and a nigger, and she never said her name. She was like, and I love my nigger nanny. I know whatever. And he said they were gonna whatever. And he said that's when he realized, like, for some people, the reason he knew the love was like a pet because he never mentioned her name, and that person who was her N-word nanny was over in the corner just like a pet, You treated them, you know, just like you loved them, but it's not the same love that you
We
have
need
for a
to
human
stop.
being that
Black
you know.
people need to stop being white people's nannies. But stop it. Because stop.
He's a fool.
And you know, in Manhattan, we got a lot of Caribbean women that take care of white children. Enough of that shit. Enough of it. Because that's sometimes how they see it. Because I know a lot of my friends who were raised by black nannies, Caribbean nannies from Trinidad and I see these black women with these strollers and these white kids, you know, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, black, and even in the elderly, you go to these nursing homes, some of the most racist elderly people end up having their asses wiped by black women at these nursing homes and these black men, you know? And when he said Emmett Till, and when he liked to use big words, and the racial component within that system, I'm like, and now we sleeping with white women. Motherfucker, motherfucking black and white people been sleeping with each other for thousands of years, man. They've been sleeping with each other forever. Just people in general have been running into each other and intermixing. Frederick Douglass was half black.
Thank you.
Bob Marley, biracial. Some of the most important historical black people who fought for are biracial. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? That's not nothing new. And he's like, it went from Emmett Till to now we sleeping on people. Look at the NFL. All they got is white women. That he missed like a whole couple decades of, and like you said, the master had his way with black women. White masters could rape, and they could rape black men at any time they wanted to. And remember, there were laws where miscegenation was unlawful, but white men would go.
What'd you say, sweetie?
I said my mother tells me that story, how white men would rape, you know, black women.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it was, you know, like you said, they own them. Master and stuff like that.
Power trip.
Yeah.
Straight up power trip.
Saying that.
I
was doing a live one day and she mentioned that. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And you know, and unfortunately, you know, that has kind of trickled over even to, and I can only speak from my own experience in this area. And just watching the men in my life, my grandfather, my father. My father chose to be with white women, not because he liked white women. That was his way of getting back at the white man.
Wow.
And I'm not just making that up. That's what he told me.
Whoa.
Same thing with my grandfather. He married a black woman, but he cheated on her with white women. It was like a lick back. He was getting his lick back. Same with my father, getting their lick back. Let me piss off these white men and get one of their women.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's what a lot of the history has done to the mentality. You know, and it's affected both sides of the coin. It doesn't make it right, it just makes it. It's what it is.
At night in Harlem, they would go and sleep with black women. You know what I'm saying? At night, even though they would hate black people in the daytime, they would do a lot of that stuff, man. You know, so this is intermixing has always been around, and sometimes it's fetishized. There are people I know in interracial relationships who have been called the N-word by their counterpart, and they still stay. You know what I'm saying? Then they still stay. I go, well, they called you the N-word. What's up with that? Well, I didn't think they didn't mean it. I go, well, obviously they're fetishizing you. They don't see you as a human being, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth is the N-word. That's a little weird. You should be leaving that. I'm saying whoever you want to be with, but they got to respect you as a human being. And a lot of times people are fetishized. They really are. You know, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, look, and by the way, just so you know, I was speaking to a family member, and the family member says, that this person does not know Nolan, especially in the way that he's portraying. He's not a family friend, and so that's all. That's what the family is. Someone with the family is saying. That's all I'll say.
Well, the Nolan thing is, I believe his white friends did it. I think the coroner covered it up. All of them are all connected. The racist coroner, the racist
opinion,
doctors.
allegedly.
In my opinion, I think that. In my opinion, seriously, because I haven't. The whole thing, I had to like shut it off because I was so angry, because there was another black kid that was at a festival that got beat up. He was the only black kid there. There was the black woman that went on that sleeping thing with those white women that sleep over. She's gone, and it's been happening a lot. There's black children swinging from trees. And Mississippi, I think, if I'm right, you let me know, Don, they still have not signed the anti-lynching bill in Mississippi. They still have not signed.
I don't think that they have.
They haven't even signed it. You have to think about not hanging black people, but you want black people to play football for Ole Miss, though. You still want us to play basketball and football for you, because the South loves basketball and football. But Jen, you have an anti-lynching bill where you got to think about hanging black people.
Well, you know, unfortunately, in this country, this is where it gets. It's not even complicated. Black people, in the eyesight of some white people, are strictly here for their entertainment. And that goes way back, way back. I'm going to use the example of Roots. If you watch the movie Roots, and there was a character by the name of Fiddler that was played by Lou Gossett Jr. He played Fiddler, who played the fiddle. That was his talent. And he was called in by the master whenever there was any kind of gathering in the house where they had guests, other white guests, of course. And he would be summoned to come in and entertain everyone by playing the fiddle. That was his job, so to speak, among other things such as picking cotton and everything else. But that has come up even through the generations. When you think about sports, you look at football and you see a large number of football players on the field are black. If you see the same thing with basketball, a large number of those players are black. And you know, I heard Michael Jordan say something about, I don't recall the entire story, but before Michael Jordan was the Michael Jordan that we knew or know now, and was number one in his field, you know, everybody was Michael Jordan, but they would hardly speak to him off that court. Same thing with entertainment in terms of music. Let's get him to you know, and Berry Gordy, he did what many white record producers, label owners did to the black artists of that time, because they may or may not have been completely educated in that field. They would use them for the entertainment. They would have them write these wonderful songs and sing and perform these wonderful songs and take the money and give them pennies. And they didn't, you know, black people didn't know no better, because at that time they weren't versed in that area in terms of the business. Little Richard was one of the most vocal in being ripped off by the industry, because black people were perceived to, okay, you just tap dance for me. That's what you do. That's your job. And we'll throw you a few pennies here and there. And quiet as it's kept, a lot of actors and actresses, for the exception of your Denzels and your Samuel L. Jacksons and your Oprah Winfreys, they get the big money that the white actors get, but the smaller actresses like Taraji P. Henson, for instance, pulling in all kind of movies and entertaining people to the utmost, and she's not getting the same salary that someone else of the same or lesser caliber is getting in the same field. So get out there and entertain me, and then go on about your business. That's the mentality. A lot of people perceive black people to be for their entertainment. That's all you're good for. Entertainment. Entertain me. Entertain me because I love the way you dunk that ball. Satin said, Auntie, I need to apologize to you in the chat. I gave you the wrong title of comedian Shula King Short. I did send it to your phone. Okay, sweetheart. I'll find it after the live, sweetie. I can't pull it up right now because I'm in the middle of the live.
You got to think about it. It's pretty sickening because Mississippi is really burning. Remember the movie? It's burning for real. And I really, in my opinion, think that those white dudes killed him. Period. I think there was a jealousy thing that maybe there's a white chick like him. He was a football player, good looking, and a lot of white dudes are very jealous of black men. They are very jealous of us a lot of times. And I think that's what happened. And they covered it up. I feel allegedly covered that shit up. Something ain't looking right. All of a sudden, his parts of his body are missing. Give me a break.
And you know what? I said the same thing a couple weeks ago. Okay. That was my own belief. And within I believe that is a possibility. I ain't gonna lie. I think that's a very strong possibility. However, we don't know that yet. Because we don't know the toxicology and autopsy report outcome yet. But it's very conceivable. Like I said before, Nolan had talent on his side. He had unction on his side. And there's nothing worse than jealousy. And if you look at the timing of it, this is again, I'm reading too much into this, but the timing of it, honestly, does it make sense that he would put his future at risk after working so hard for so long to get to this point, to throw it away 2 days before his big break, so to speak? No. But I could see possibly somebody ending it because he's not going to end it on his own. And that's just my own personal opinion. It's a possibility. I'm not saying they did it, and I'm not saying they didn't do it. I'm saying it's possible.
You know what I'm saying? Where he was bludgeoned. This is what I'm listening to, and I'm, in my opinion, you understand? And I think that everybody's connected with everything.
I didn't hear anything about him being bludgeoned. Some of these people are putting falsehoods out there, adding to the story. Now, if did I miss something?
Is he trying to say that the back of his head had that scar or something?
I don't know if that's what he's referring to. I don't know if that's what he's referring to, because that could have come from a couple of things. That could have come from a wrestling hold.
Right. Yeah,
but bludgeoning is a totally different demon. Totally different demon. When you say bludgeoning, you're talking about taking a pipe of some kind or a bat or something like that and just wearing their ass out. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like what happened to Emmett Till. He was bludgeoned. He was left unrecognizable. But I haven't heard anything even close to that for Nolan. So again, it's best before people jump to those types of conclusions until you hear it in the autopsy or toxicology report. Don't even say stuff like that. Because now they talking about going out here suing people. Isn't that precious? Isn't that precious? This whole thing is just turned upside down. That family is grieving their son. And they're being demonized for being cautious and making sure that justice is served, if nothing else, just to find out what happened to their son.
everybody's connected. It's just like with Carmelo Anthony, the same thing. The father, racist asshole who taught his sons racism. They want to bully a black kid who defends himself, and they all know the judges. They're all friends with everybody. So I think that black kids, black people, when you're hanging with a bunch of white people, bring some backup with you. Bring backup. And this is not knocking my white friends. I've been around white people who have done nothing to me, but I'm sorry. We're going to have to detox from being the only black person around you because you want some fuck shit. And another thing too, when I played football and baseball, it was always the white dudes, the teammates, that would try to do stuff to everybody, like pull underwear up their ass. They would always be up to scheming shit in the locker room. And black athletes would be like, yo, man, get away from me with that shit. They'd be like, we won't come to twist your nipple. Oh, today we're going to twist your nipple. Today is booty tickling. Today is booty tickling day. You're like, what? Today is booty tickling day. What are you talking about? So they would always be up to like gags and pranks.
You don't like getting wedgies?
You don't like wedgies? You don't like your underwear shoved up your ass like a thong?
I'm asking you. You don't like getting
Hell
wedgies?
No, I don't like it. I don't like when my underwear goes up my butt, man. I got this underwear that doesn't go up your ass crack. It's like the non-ass crack underwear.
I don't know about y'all, but I don't know. I don't know too many. Do I want to say this? Yes, I'll say it because this is what I do know. I don't know too many black men that would let that kind of behavior pass on them. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I have 2 sons, and I know for sure my oldest son, he's actually a coach now. He's a basketball coach. And I could see him knocking the hell out of somebody. Not just because they're white, but just if they did that to him specifically, whether they black or white. That's just something that I don't see us tolerating. That's a very demeaning thing to do to a black man as a result of the history. And again, I'll revert back to the stories that my grandfather told me. He was in World War II, and a white soldier told him to bend over. He wanted to make sure he didn't have a tail because the other white soldiers, I'm sorry, let me correct that. This was an Italian soldier who had been told by the white soldiers in World War II that the black soldiers had tails. And they spread this lie around and had people thinking that black soldiers had tails. So the Italian soldier asked my grandfather to bend over. I want to see if you really have a tail. Do you know how demeaning that is to ask a black man to bend over and show you his ass, pull his pants down and prove that he doesn't have a tail? Now, quite frankly, hell no, he didn't do it. And it's a wonder he didn't get court-martialed because he beat the shit out of that soldier. But this is the mindset that black people have been tolerating for a long time. So when you do something demeaning like that, go up behind somebody and pull their underwear, that's violating their look. Don't put your hands on my drawers. That's some fuck shit right there. So I understand where he's coming from on that. That's just something that people just, I have yet to meet a black man that let that kind of behavior go on him.
It's called the no acetone underwear, bro.
Oh my God. So listen, about the Anti-Lynching Act, you are right. So federally, there was an Anti-Lynching Act that was signed federally in 2022. All right.
Okay.
But as of now, Mississippi has not enacted or signed a state level Mississippi Anti-Lynching Act.
That's scary. That's really scary.
When you hear this dude talking about white women, though, it reminded me of something.
What did it remind you of?
Okay, Andy, roll it.
Mr. President, since you've become president, you've been seen and photographed on the arms of white
Richard
women.
Pryor.
Watch his face, watch his face, watch his face, watch his face.
Quite frankly, sir, you've been courting an awful lot of white women. Will this continue?
As long as I can keep it up. Why you think they call it the White House?
Can we bring back humor like that again?
Oh my
please?
God! Oh, who are you?
Can we bring back real humor again? Can we bring it back? That was Richard Pryor, rest in peace, and his last wife was white, by the way.
Do you remember though when he and Chevy Chase did the N-word thing? I talked about
that was brilliant.
Oh my God!
Remember when he goes? They're like porch monkey. He said cracker. When they actually goes nigga, he said dead honky.
No, he goes something. He goes honky, and then he goes nigga, and he goes
dead honky.
Man, it's literally you can't do that now.
We can do it now. I think we need to bring it back because the same mentality is still here. It's like what Mary Trump's niece said: slavery never ended; it just evolved.
Yeah.
So racism never ended; it's just evolved, and it's not really evolved. Because it's the same old, hey, calling us niggers. It's the same old stuff. I always tell some white people, why don't you update your racism? Why are you using the same old tired ass words? Update it. If you're going to be a racist, at least update your shit. Hey, why don't you go back to Africa? Oh, you eat fried chicken. I go, white people eat more chicken than black people because there's more whites here. They eat more chicken. They eat everybody else's food more than anybody else. Why don't you go eat your collard greens and your watermelon? Shut up. You always eating everybody's watermelon. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want that humor. That's why me on stage, I talk about the race thing. I talk about, because it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. And I'm going to keep talking about it. I would love to go on stage one day and go, let's talk about race. Hey man, it's over. Really? Okay, I'll move on. But unfortunately, there's a group of people that haven't moved on. Everybody else is trying to move on. Well, I know there's a new guy who's Mexican who's trying to be like Chud the Builder. He's like a Chud the Builder, but it hasn't worked. He was short-lived because he got his ass whooped. And he's a Mexican dude calling people the N-word. Let me tell you about Mexican racism. Mexican racism is like transferring community college credits to Harvard. It just doesn't count. We can't accept this. We Mexicans being racist just doesn't count. I go, oh, negrito, pobrecito. It doesn't work. You understand where I'm coming from? So the mentality of hating black people or just hate in general, it's just a little played out. It's played out, but people want to hold on to that shit. A lot of people, especially poor whites, want to hold on to, it's the black people, but it's the elite whites that are keeping you poor, my man. You understand? Yeah, it's the elite whites. Just like Lyndon Baines Johnson said, I just tell the lowest white man that he's better than the highest colored man, and I just pick his pocket at the same time. Yeehaw! I'm going to have these niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years.
But you know what happens when that, oh, my life, I will vote for Donald Trump. And then,
oh my God, I will vote. Dios mío. Presidente número uno, Donald Trump, número uno, Estados Unidos. And then Donald said, hasta la vista.
And then, I'm going to deport you. Get
hasta
on the ground.
Vista.
That's what happened.
Hasta la vista.
It's crazy.
Adios, amigos.
Okay. A word from our sponsors. Stand by.
Okay,
Can I just tell you something here? Look, people ask me all the time whether productive choices developed in a clinical interview.
I was trying to get back in there because my screen froze, and so if you heard me going, "Hey, I'm frozen,"
I said my screen froze.
I know I could not tell if we were in the commercial or not.
Yeah.
So listen, you said you were so angry about this. Why were you so angry that you had to like shut it off?
I just
what's up
feel
with that?
because I feel helpless, man. I don't know. You know, you do your thing on your platform. We try our best. Me, you, DL, everybody, and it just feels helpless, man.
I understand how he feels, especially being in the spotlight. And this brother is actually African. Not that that matters, but no matter if he's from Nigeria, from Haiti, Jamaica, he's still looked at as black when it comes down to white supremacy. And that's where it becomes tiresome, because they don't care what they don't care what the black came from. They just know you're black. And that's the sad part. It's getting to the point now where it's getting old. It's getting real old, but it just has it's still rearing its ugly head, because it still exists, and especially in certain parts of this country. And there's no getting away from it. You may move from one side of the country to the other, but the difference is that the other side of the country has a different way of shielding it or hiding it. It doesn't mean that they're not racist. They just hide it a different way. Now, many places in the South, they don't hide it. They haven't come that far, you know. So it's just, how do you want to deal with it? That's the question. How do you deal with it? How do you feel comfortable dealing with it?
I wish I was a superhero, man. I wish I was a superhero who, whenever I heard a racist thing about to happen to somebody, some black child or whatever, I could come in and teleport and stop it right away. That's why I just was like, it was too much for me, and I don't want them to get away with this. If it was them, I want them to be, to be taken to jail and locked up. And I just feel helpless, because it seems like, people can just do whatever they want to us, man. And I'm sick of that. And Black folks do not deserve any of this. What have Black folks done? I'm not talking about individual people who commit crimes, but Black people as a whole around the world. What have we done to people? All we've done is exist. All Black people in general have done was work to build, to push the country forward. Most of the inventions are Black American made. I mean, from the doorknob to escalator to elevator to refrigeration to ironing board to clothes dryer to the microphones we use now, to the GPS to laser eye surgery. And this is coming from being abused. And yet Black Americans have risen to the top, have created things where whites have stolen all the patents to make themselves look better, and Black people have forgiven and forgiven. And now the fact that you exist, you have to die in the hands of some idiots. I mean, it's just, and then you have to pray that the justice system is on your side. It's like it's catch-22. It's like we're caught between a rock and a hard place being Black. It's sickening. There's times where you're just overloaded with this kind of mental, you know what I'm saying?
You hear that guy who I think is, I shouldn't say he's harmless, because you don't know, like, I would hope that he's harmless, but that kind of thinking is problematic. When you saw that Tatum guy, what did you think?
I call him Officer Taint.
Man, Barbara.
You know that part under your balls and that's Officer Taint. That's all Officer Taintum. Yeah, he's that stink under your balls. That's who he is. That dude, I call him Super Coon. That dude is a super coon. He's like, there's ultimate coon, there's big coon. He's super coon. Look, up in the sky, it's a full moon. It's super coon. He is super coon. That dude is like a Marvel comic villain. Like, it's gonna take the X-Men to destroy him. I don't even think he believes what he's saying, but he's getting paid. I think he's getting paid for that. Because there's Candace Owens, there's Stacey Dash. They're like coon, but this dude is like super coon. Like, he's like Galactica coon. If you know your comic books, he's like indestructible Magneto coon. This dude is like, he's like a real idiot. He actually said that Tulsa, what happened in Tulsa was, it was a fight between Black people and white people. I said, my man, you're a sick piece of shit, man. And the fact that you had the nerve to say these white people had nothing to do with Nolan's death, What's wrong with you, bro? You went to, and he actually went to Mississippi to prove that people are wrong about this. He's a sick dude, man. You're fucking with people's deaths, man. People are losing their sons and daughters, and your fat-headed ass is coming around saying, "Oh man, black people don't know what to." I just go, man, this dude needs to be thrown in a garbage can somewhere. He's a defective Negro. He's a defective Negro. He's wired fucked up. You know how in a factory where you have like products, right? A bunch of dolls, like a toy factory. He's one of those dolls that has a twitch. You know what I'm saying? He's defective. He's scary. And there's also black people who are against black people, who want to ruin black people's progress. And for him to step his big mouth into somebody's son who was murdered and to say the shit that he's saying, I'm telling you, man, I don't even want to say this on your show, man. All right. You know what I'm saying? I don't like his presence. I don't like his presence. No, you know what I'm saying. He's just a piece of shit, dude, and he's uninformed. And then he has this white woman he shows off, and then he goes, D.L. Hughley, the unfunny comedian. No, D.L.'s funny as shit. What are you talking about? You're a bum, dude. You a super coon. No, we don't need the X-Men. We need the Malcolm X-Men.
Did you ever see that song? You know that song, oh my God, I will vote. It's about, well, down, it's about. Right. But there's also one that's cool too. Have you heard the one, look at the coons? Baby.
Oh, the coon, that's my shit.
That's a bop, man.
The raccoons dancing?
Yeah. Always gooning for you. Oh, look at the coon. I love that song, man. Yes. It's good.
Do you know about that other guy, Reverend Patterson, that one black?
Yes.
He's another super coon. That an old man coon. He's like Uncle Ruckus. Remember the Boondocks? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I like white folks. Niggas ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. I love me some white folk. Let me tell you, Don Lemon, you one of them niggas that you lucky you got a TV show. I'm happy you off for CNN, nigga. Listen, I love white folk. White folk make everything better for us. I swear to God.
That is a great, oh my gosh, Godfrey.
He's a good impersonator.
That's that dude.
I'm just saying here, Don Lemon. Let me tell you something, Don Lemon. I'd rather you be white and shit. Why don't you get somebody white for your goddamn show? I'm going to tell you something. I'm Patterson. I love me some goddamn white folk.
I don't know if you guys ever watched Dave Chappelle back when he had his own show. And he had a character. I can't remember the name of the character, but it was the blind black man who thought he was white. He was the blind racist black man who thought he was white. He would say some crazy shit. Oh my God, put a 1 in the chat if you remember that character. The racist blind man who thought he was white and he was black. Now that was crazy. That was real crazy. Yep, Frank remembers. Croy remembers. Clayton. That's it. Clayton. Boy, that shit was funny to me. And see, it's funny that it's funny when you can laugh at that kind of stuff, you know. But, you know, to point out the ridiculousness of it all. Clayton Bigsby.
Niggas get on my nerves. I want an all-white church. I love that motherfucker. He hangs out with Jake Lang. That fucking tard. He hangs out with Lang.
Godfrey, you are on one today. All right.
He's a tard. Fuck him.
You need to go to the gym. Get your muscles on.
Guess where I'm going? I'm going to the barbershop first. You know, our barbershop.
Oh, are you serious? You're going out, dude?
But Youssef is in Morocco, but I'm going to use Lo. Lo is another great barber.
Okay, so let me tell you, Youssef, did he have you with that Moroccan argan oil or whatever it was? You remember that?
Oh, man, I'll be like, get that shit out of here.
Oh, hey, he had me.
Yeah, man.
Haircut.
Yo,
my haircut is bad.
Youssef at Diamond Fades is the real deal, bro.
He's the real deal.
He's the real deal. You left and then you finally came back. Thank you.
Well, they moved.
Oh, but they moved into a better place.
Yeah, I know. But what is it, at 38th Street?
30, it's 39th Street between 8th and 9th Avenue.
9th.
It's called Diamond Fades with the EZ. And you should go see Mike, see Yusuf, see Low, see Shadow.
Yeah.
They're all great. They've been doing, don't take for granted, is working. Because there was a time where when the economy was down, when there was COVID, nobody was really working. I was still working. So I will never take work for granted. I love that I can travel to different countries and different cities and get paid for it. And it's a blessing. So
same. I never complain. I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm working too hard. I'm working so hard. But I'm not complaining.
Not complaining. It's our freedom.
Complaining.
And we're making ground, man. And you
sure
are
Washington
kicking ass, bro.
440
Jesus Christ.
schools.
Thank you. Come on, man. Do you remember we first started this channel? You were like one of my first regulars. You were like, what is he doing?
No, but you remember when you asked me, how do you think I'm going to do? I said, Don, you get to curse and not get fired.
And I said, fuck you.
He's a fool.
Bye, Godfrey. Go see him. Portland?
Yeah, Portland, Helium Comedy Club in Portland.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna make his show unless he come up here. But for the most part, we all as a people, we go through our own individual idiosyncrasies and stuff like that. But this is just something that we can't just let it sit on the shelf and let it work itself out. So as long as this problem is here, I'm gonna speak on it, and I welcome anybody that wants to come to my platform and say what's on their mind as well. And we can agree to disagree on some things as long as you're respectful. Now, these people that come in here, I've had some racist ass people come in here and say some of the most nastiest, disrespectful shit. And that's when I have to come out of my ass and go off on them. So I just forewarn everybody, if you've never been here before, I try to be fair to everybody, but there will be times when these idiots come in here and say some real disrespectful, derogatory shit. At that point in time, I will come out of my own self and lay into them. So I'm just letting y'all know in advance, charge it to my head, not my heart. I don't mean this to attack any one person or I'm sorry, any group of people. I attack the individual that's being disrespectful. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this live. I've been doing this almost 3 hours tonight. And I thank each and every one of you that came and hung with me and contributed to the live. Hey, Q Rock, how you doing? I appreciate all that have, interacted. If you haven't already hit the like button, please do so as you go out to put us in the algorithm so we can continue to carry on this this discussion because it's necessary. Now, Arthur, are you being disrespectful? Luckily, it's toward the end of the live, okay? If you're meaning that this was a snooze fest, then I'm sorry I put you to sleep. Because you're free to go home and go to bed if you like. You late at work, Q-Rock? Okay, sweetheart. Well, you guys, I encourage you to have a wonderful evening. Lady Letitia, are you still there, sweetie?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you fell asleep or not.
No.
I appreciate you coming by.
Thanks for having me, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Okay, and same here. All right, you guys. Well, have a wonderful evening. God bless you. Until next time. Good night.
Hey there, my kinfolk. Thanks for stopping by. Auntie Mickey's house, where we reach for the sky. Every comment and smile, you make my heart glow. Together we're strong, together we grow. From gossip to politics, we cover it all. Sharing laughs and thoughts, having a ball. Your support means everything that I know. Feels like family here in this sweet make it bright. Your support lifts me up, takes flight.